freshly redesigned for 2018 Land Rover Range Rover, more commonly referred to as the Range Rover. This is not the Range Rover Sport, this is not the SVR, this is the standard Range Rover. It's not the long wheelbase. This is about as Range Rover as you can get. The Range Rover is hailed as one of the most capable off-road vehicles of all time. It competes directly with, in terms of off-road practicality, the Mercedes G-Wagon, the Toyota 4Runner, and the Jeep Wrangler. However, it does things so much better than the 4Runner and the Wrangler simply because you are engulfed in opulent luxury. Due to the luxurious nature of this vehicle, it competes more interior-wise with something like a Mercedes GLE, a BMW X5 or X7, I suppose, depending on if you have the long wheelbase, the Audi Q7, or the Porsche Cayenne, again, in terms of luxury. So what's new with 2018? Well, the 2018 gives you a complete facelift. The most dramatic change is the headlights. They're much more squared off. You get a new redesigned front bumper and rear bumper. I should also mention the LED taillights are new as well. Everything is kind of a little bit more geometric. It's a little more squared off. It looks a little bit more aggressive. I personally like it a lot, but if you like the kind of swooping, more curved lines of the previous generation, that's just fine too. Also new for 2018, you have what they're calling Touch Pro Duo. Essentially what that means is you're going to get a 10-inch screen above and a 10-inch screen below. The top screen is going to control a bunch of stuff. The bottom screen is going to control a bunch of other stuff. I'll get to that in a little bit too. You can also get a rear seat entertainment package. That essentially equips the rear seats kind of on the headrest a little bit below. It integrates a screen directly into the back of the front seats. Now through this screen on the back of the front seats, you can control everything from your climate control, your media inputs, a whole bunch of things, how you want your seat, if you want it cooled, if you want it heated, if you want massage, whatever it may be. There's a lot that you can do through these screens. Also new, we have a bigger heads-up display that's inclusive of a bunch of things such as your terrain response and your drive mode, your speed limit, your media, your phone, a whole bunch of stuff in your heads-up display. And it is vibrant, it is bright, it is adjustable, you can put it wherever you want it as far as height and things like that. It's fantastic. Also, one of the things that I love are the new steering wheel buttons. They are fully digital, so they're touchscreen and they're customizable, so you can set whatever button to be whatever you want. It's essentially like a hot button. You can have it control your volume, you can have it control your radio station, you can have it control your heated steering wheel, your lane keep assist, whatever you want. It's fantastic. I love the buttons on the steering wheel, and they're flush, they're black plastic, with digital screens, they're wonderful. Now, one of the most exciting things about the new Range Rovers is for model year 2019, we're going to get a plug-in hybrid version. Yes, a plug-in hybrid Range Rover. What are you going to get with that? Well, the first thing I should say is it doesn't plug in where you normally expect a plug to be, in like a fuel cap on the back or in the front 3/4 panel. It is plugged directly into the grille, right about where you have the Land Rover emblem in the grille. It's pretty funny to look at, but you can expect about 31 miles of range, which is definitely enough for me to get to work and back. So I think that would be fantastic. I could get to work and back entirely on electric power. If I wanted to go on longer trips, I could switch over to my gas engine. Now, to charge this thing all the way fully, you can plug it into a normal house outlet. It's going to take about 14 hours, so I would not recommend doing that. You can option for a kind of different, Land Rover branded quick charger, supercharger. Tesla will tell you all about that, but that's going to charge it a lot faster, so I'd recommend doing that. Also, a really cool option that is now on 2018 models is the gesture control. I have a gesture control sunroof. I'm going to put my hand right over here, and look at that. I just swipe my hand right where the sunroof control would be, and it closes. And if I want it back open, I can swipe it that way. The cool thing is it's active, and it's totally predictive of what you want to do. So if you leave it outside, if you leave your car outside on a hot day, you lock it, you walk away, the sunshade will automatically close, so not to bake your interior, and then when you get back in the car, it will automatically open without you having to gesture. It is really cool, awesome feature. Also, you can get an activity key. It's a lot like your Fitbit. Essentially what this does is it replaces the need for a real key. So you can go swimming with this thing on, you can go kayaking. It's essentially just a waterproof key that you wear on your wrist. You walk up to the side of the car, put your little Fitbit activity key up against the door, you get into your car and you drive away. really cool feature, especially for something like a Land Rover and a Range Rover, where it's so focused on, you know, going off-road and being so capable outdoors and everything like that. You know, it's really nice to see that they want you to have that practicality of being and living an active lifestyle. Now you also get things like cabin ionization. Essentially what this is cleaning the air for you while you drive. I can't really go into much more detail than that, but it is a pretty cool feature. It's essentially saying, I'm rich, so I breathe better air than you. There you go. Also, you get thicker glass in the 2018 models. This is essentially aiding in cabin refinement. The biggest thing about this car, my biggest initial impressions, is just how floaty and luxurious it is. Think of a Lexus RX and how floaty and kind of smooth that ride is, and then add all of this beautiful Range Rover interior, add off-road capability. It's just so nice. It's so quiet and damped on the inside, so refined. I'm not worried about anything that's going on in the world outside of me. Super, super refined cabin. Also, another really cool feature for 2018 is in this center console here, right behind where you would put your water bottles or your cups or whatever. You would open up, you have a normal storage compartment, but you can also have a fridge. It can get as cold as 29 degrees or as warm as 41. That's awesome. That's so cool. Why would you not want that? Also, one of the more luxurious new features for 2018 is the hot stone massage. Yes, hot stone massage. And ventilated seats, because you're rich and you have a Range Rover, so why not, right? Alright, so that's most of the stuff that's new for 2018. I do just want to say that I really do like the way that this Range Rover looks. In the past, they've had that really kind of boxy, geometric SUV look to them that I so enjoy. Then in 2013, they kind of went a little bit more swoopy and more elegant, and I think it really is indicative of what they are now. They're not necessarily just these brash off-road capable vehicles, but it's so luxurious and so nice and refined on the interior that they want the exterior to reflect that. And I really like it. I really do like what they did with 2018 and like kind of squaring off the headlights and everything though. It does give it a sense of more muscularity, more capability, at least in my mind. Plus you get these standard 21-inch wheels. You can option up to 22-inch wheels. 22-inch wheels. Basically, I'm richer than you wheels. Now you can get 13 paint options as far as exterior paint. That's not even inclusive of the SVO special paints. You can get about 15 wheel options, 7 interior trim options. You can get piano black or carbon fiber, wood, whatever. And you can also get 7 interior colors mixed with 4 different kinds of leathers. So there's 7 interior colors, of which you can get 4 leather textures. So there's essentially 28 different interiors that you can get. Now a base engine in this is a turbo diesel V6. This is going to give you about 254 horsepower. Mine is the petrol or gas powered engine, not diesel. This is going to give you about just over 350 horsepower. Similar number in torque. But that's really what you're going to look for is that number in torque. That's really what you're going to feel at low speeds. This is not an Autobahn destroyer. This is a big off-road capable SUV. You want that torque, you want that low-end grunt, especially when you're rock crawling, you're hill climbing. You're going to have a lot of that low-end power to get you out of any sort of situation. Now, like I said, it's not a whole lot of power, and this car is 5,000 pounds. So even with the aluminum body, it's 5,000 pounds. That's not light. So you can expect to get 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds here. In the supercharged V8, you can get as low as 5 seconds dead. But really, this car is not about 0 to 60. It's so plush and refined, this ride. I don't feel the need to go fast at all, but I do want to see how capable this thing is off-road. Now there are 7 drive modes for 2018 instead of the 5 that were available for 2017. You have the same grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock crawling, but now you also have a comfort mode, an eco mode, and a dynamic mode. As opposed to 2017, last year, they didn't have comfort, or they didn't have eco, comfort, and dynamic. They just had general. Now the big story with these Range Rovers is the suspension. You do get adaptive Bilstein dampers and adjustable suspension, but the biggest and coolest thing is the air suspension. And this air suspension is fantastic. It is completely customizable to how fast you're going, what drive mode you're in, whether you're loading things in and out of the car, whatever. So if you get to 20 or 65 miles an hour, the car will hunker down, lower up. Headlights will actually, auto high beams will adjust as well. But also, if you go into rock crawling mode or any off-road modes, the suspension will raise up 2 to 3 inches as well from the normal ride height. Also, in the trunk, if you're loading something, there are buttons to adjust the height of the vehicle. So if you're carrying something heavy, you don't want to lift it that high, you can lower the car so you don't have to lift it as high. Also, you can set the car to automatically lower itself up to 2 inches for entry and exit and loading. So super convenient, super cool. Well done, Range Rover. That's really awesome. Now, this is a Range Rover, so it's completely capable off-road. What does that mean? Well, you have that rock crawl mode, you have sand mode, you have snow, gravel, dirt, whatever mode. You also have an active locking rear differential. That's going to help you a lot, especially in hill descent. You have a mode for that as well. It really is going to control a lot better than braking. In a hill descent, it locks the differential. Your wheels aren't going to slip. Now, I'm a car enthusiast, and as such, I like to test these vehicles. This is, like I said, it's not super quick, it's not super responsive. In dynamic mode, you do get things to sharpen up a bit, but you get a lot of body roll. I mean, this is a 5,000 pound, tall, long SUV. This thing is meant to just crawl over rocks and do all sorts of stuff, so it's not quick, it's not tossable by any means, but I don't even care. This is so much fun. Like, it's so just refined, it's smooth, it's supple, like the ride is fantastic. I love it. Now, moving on to the interior, and this is, like I said, where the modern Range Rovers really earn their keep. The interiors are so luxurious now. All of these 2018 Range Rovers have the Touch Duo dual screens on the infotainment in your head unit. You get a full digital gauge cluster, but the biggest thing to me is the design overall. It's so minimal. Everything is digital. There is a lot of piano black, which you're gonna get smudges on that, but you can option with wood, you can option with aluminum, carbon fiber, whatever you want to have all those accents, not be piano black and not get finger smudges. The infotainment works pretty well. There's a tiny bit of lag. It's not exactly like your smartphone, but it's really not super noticeable. So I would say fantastic design of the cabin. And just the most exquisite and luxurious materials. You got a heated steering wheel, leather at 9 and 3. You can get wood on your steering wheel. Just bravo. Like, it's so luxurious and the ride complements it so well. I feel so wealthy while I drive this thing. You could say that the interior is so luxurious that it distracts you from the rough terrain that you're probably not going to drive this car on. Now, this is Land Rover's command seating position. You get 18 way adjustable seats, but that was the biggest thing when I got in here. I just got out of an Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio, smaller SUV, but still an SUV. But I immediately got in that car and lowered my seat because it's a sporty SUV, and I wanted to sit lower. I wanted to sit in a more sporty position. This thing, I got in here, I was sitting really high up, and I left it because it feels right. It feels good in this car. The visibility is fantastic. These A-pillars are super thin. I have fantastic visibility out the back. The rear view mirror is frameless, which just looks exquisite. But yeah, I mean, the seating position is fantastic. You have complete control of the road, which is very necessary actually and practical when you're off-road, trying to traverse rocks and mud and whirlpools, whatever. So like I said, one of the biggest changes is the 2 screens in front. They're both 10-inch screens. The top screen is going to let you control everything from your navigation, your phone, any media, radio, whatever, all of your cameras and your 360, any car settings, any phone apps, things like that. While the bottom screen is going to allow you to control things such as, your climate control, your seats, your massagers, I should say your seat heaters and massagers, and your terrain response. Also, you can swipe down onto the screen any sort of, media or radio functionality, so it really kind of assimilates itself to become one unit pretty well, and it works pretty well. I really do like it. It's touch sensitive, it's fantastic. Now again, the digital cluster, also new thing for 2018, totally digital, absolutely love it. You got lane keep assist, you've got different drive modes, it's customizable, it looks fantastic. Now what can you expect for a safety suite on a Range Rover like this? Well, you can get blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise, driver condition monitoring. So if you're falling asleep behind the wheel, the car will pep you or wake you up, or it'll make you pull over, it'll beep at you, whatever. And this is another really cool thing, is it's got traffic sign recognition. So essentially, if I'm driving down the street and I'm driving past like a sign that says 25, the car will read that and input it to my adaptive cruise if I really wanted to. Also, you get things like 360 camera, rear cross traffic alert, and what Range Rover calls clear exit detection. Essentially what that means is they use the parking sensors for the rear, in the rear 3/4, to detect when you can get in and out of your car. If you're parallel parked on the side of the road, you can't really see, especially if you're in the back seat, you can't really see when a car is coming, if you should open your door. There's a sensor on the side of the door that will light up if somebody is going to hit you if you open your door. So it tells you when it's safe to open your door and get out of the car when you're parked on a busy street and you're parallel parked. Really, really nice safety feature. I had never thought of that. I had never heard anything like that before, so well done. The rear seats also are well equipped. You have 2 USBs, you've got dual climate control, heated and cooled rear seats. You can get a full 112 or 110 volt outlet. You can get one in the trunk too. That's like a standard house outlet. Fantastic. Again, rear seat entertainment package with the 2 screens. So the rear seats are just as well equipped as the front, which is kind of surprising, honestly. You don't see many people do that, so well done, Range Rover. So what can you expect to get into a car like this for? Bone stock, you can get into this thing as little as $88K. No one's gonna buy it that way. You're gonna be into 6 figures, but honestly, I think it's worth it. If you take this car off-road at all, it pays for itself. And even if you don't, it's so supple and refined. It's more of a status symbol, if anything. You know, I'm in a Range Rover. You know, there's a kind of class that goes along with that. I have money, get away from me, peasant. Let me get into my car with my thick windows and my refinement, and I won't have to hear your nonsense. Now, yes, the lowest you can get into this car is $88,000. No one's getting into this car realistically under 6 figures. Most people get in around 105, 110. I played online a little bit. I got mine up to $188,000. That's with the supercharged V8. That's with a bunch of add-ons. You don't have to pay that much, but you are going to be into 6 figures. Now, I know what you're all going to say. Oh, the air suspension will collapse. The car will have more problems than you can handle, blah, blah, blah. You're right, the track record on this Range Rover has not been stellar. Some of the older ones have had BMW engines. The air suspension has collapsed in the back. Not the case as much anymore. I mean, it's still a car. You're still going to have issues every once in a while, but it's not nearly the same problems or the same level of problems. And especially in these newer ones, Land Rover is owned by Tata now. Much more reliable vehicles. The air suspension is reliable. The engine is reliable. And if you're really, really worried about it, just get a warranty. And in all seriousness, a few reliability issues aren't going to deter me from getting one of these things. A Range Rover really defines the off-road capability segment, and it does so, like I said, engulfing you in opulent luxury. Plus, with a V8, you can get 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. That's not slow. You know, that's E46 M3 territory. That's pretty quick. And you have the capability of off-road. You have exquisite luxury interior. You have nice storage in the back, a huge pano roof. I'm gonna do this one more time just because I like it. Didn't work. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, it's just overall a super impressive vehicle from every aspect. So if you're as impressed with this Range Rover as I am, go check out my friends at Fields Land Rover, Jaguar, Volvo out in Waukesha, Wisconsin. They've taken great care of me. They've been super helpful. They'll do the same with you. So really go check it out. You need to drive one of these things. It's a totally different experience than anything you're used to. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.